French women over 70 have a way of turning heads without trying, and Linda Wright is living proof. At 75, she's more stylish, confident, and captivating than women half her age. But what's her secret? It's not about chasing trends. It's about mastering the timeless style rules that most people overlook. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the subtle, sophisticated choices that set her and women like her apart. Once you see what makes her wardrobe so powerful, you'll never look at aging the same way again. 1. Effortless isn't accidental. There's a myth we often whisper to ourselves that looking elegant past a certain age becomes a game of camouflage, a strategic hiding of what time has altered. But French women like Linda Wright quietly dismantle that idea just by walking into a room. At 75, she doesn't dress to disappear. She doesn't try to command attention. And yet, you notice her instantly. What gives her that gravitational pull is not just her clothing, but how unbothered she seems by the need to impress. Her fashion is not loud. You won't find her in explosive prints or over-designed garments trying to fight for relevance. Instead, she shows us that elegance is something you let settle into your skin and then choose to carry with calm authority. Her silhouettes follow the line of her body without strangling it. Her colors are never too sweet or too harsh, and there's a patience in her aesthetic that feels lived in, not performed. This is not the kind of style that screams for approval. It assumes its place. Linda is never overdressed, never underdressed, just precisely present. 2. Texture over trend. What separates the wardrobe of a woman like Linda Wright from the younger trend-obsessed masses isn't just the garments themselves. It's the conversation those garments are having with time. French style at this age does not revolve around novelty. It revolves around the soul of the fabric. There is something almost intimate in the textures Linda wears. You can see the soft collapse of linen at her elbows, the way cashmere seems to ripple like quiet water across her shoulders, the leathery grain of a well-loved bag that has clearly known the world. These are not fresh from the tag items. They are seasoned. The way a good story is better told by someone who has lived it. When she wears denim, it's not the stiff, over-processed variety. It's denim that has grown gentle, possibly patch-mended, likely French-washed until it no longer carries the stiffness of ambition, but the ease of arrival. There is no attempt here to sanitize age. Instead, there's an honoring of the body and the years it's known, with fabrics that do not resist time, but embrace it. 3. Color without chaos. One of the most visually compelling aspects of Linda Wright's wardrobe, and of many French women in her age bracket, is the restraint she brings to color. While the fashion world pulses with new palettes each season, Linda remains unmoved. Her closet speaks fluently in neutrals, but it's not monotone, it's masterful. You'll see her in ivory, camel, navy, soft gray, tones that harmonize with her skin, her hair, and most importantly, her presence. She avoids the brash collision of colors not because she fears them, but because she has nothing to prove. When she chooses color, it's deliberate. There's a whisper of plum in a scarf, or a deep olive tone that reads more like shadow than pigment. This is not a woman begging to be seen. This is a woman curating her visual energy. French women like her do not treat their wardrobe like a mood ring. They build a symphony, subtle and slow, with tones that carry through seasons and years. And because the palette is controlled, the effect is lasting, like a painting with no unnecessary brushstrokes. Every shade has a purpose, and every outfit feels complete without saying too much. 4. Silhouette as language. French women over 70, especially ones like Linda Wright, have a deep understanding that clothes are not armor. They are an extension of how you exist in the world. Watch how Linda walks down a Parisian street. Her clothing does not fight her body, it follows it. Her trousers have ease, not rigidity. Her coats wrap rather than structure. Her shirts graze, they don't grip. There's something profoundly respectful in this style, not just toward the body, but toward movement itself. She dresses like someone who still intends to take walks, drink wine on stone steps, browse bookstores without being in a hurry. The garments are chosen to accompany her, not decorate her. There's a freedom in her silhouette that says, I'm not here to compete, I'm here to enjoy. And so everything drapes with intention. Nothing clings in desperation. You'll rarely find sharp tailoring that restricts her arms or high heels that seem designed more for optics than walking. This is a style that has earned its ease. It doesn't rush to be relevant, it strolls through life with its hands in its pockets. 5. Details that whisper. If you study Linda Wright's photos, it might take you a moment to notice the jewelry. That's the point. French elegance, especially as it matures, finds its voice not in statement pieces, but in pieces that know when to speak. A silver cuff that hugs the wrist without demanding it be seen. A ring that looks like it may have been inherited. Sunglasses with a touch of old Hollywood drama, not oversized for effect, but shaped to honor her bone structure. Even her handbags, often weathered and muted, carry the air of quiet significance rather than seasonal novelty. These aren't accessories that try to distract from age or add sparkle, where society assumes we've lost it. They are there because they belong. Each piece seems to carry a history, or at the very least, a reason. Nothing is chosen because it is on trend. Everything is chosen because it is hers. The French over 70 style, at its best, lets the woman wear the piece, not the other way around. Linda embodies this fully. She's not building a look, she's reflecting a life. 6. Weathered, not worn out. In many cultures, aging is seen as an erosion of relevance, of desirability, of style. But in the world Linda Wright inhabits, age does something radical. It adds authority. The creases on her face do not compete with her clothing. They collaborate. Her silver white hair is not a flaw to cover. It is the perfect punctuation to her entire aesthetic. Nothing about her style is youthful, and yet it never feels stale. That's the paradox. In her, we see proof that when fashion is rooted in identity, it doesn't age out, it grows richer. You can tell she's dressed this way for years, and that time has only made it more right. There's a harmony between the person and the presentation, a congruence so seamless that you stop thinking of her as a woman in her 70s and start thinking of her simply as Linda. This is the power of long practiced style. It doesn't just survive the years, it uses them. It refines them into something unmistakable, something untouchable. 7. The story in the cloth. There's a reason Linda Wright's wardrobe feels different, even in photos. Her pieces have memory. The coat she wears might have seen Paris in spring and New York in winter. The scarf might have been bought during a weekend in Marrakesh or handed down from a friend. Her boots don't look fresh, they look loyal. Every garment seems to carry a whisper of a past moment. French women of this age know that clothing isn't disposable. It's not a seasonal fling, it's a relationship. One that deepens. Linda doesn't shop for volume. She curates for longevity. Her closet isn't bursting with options. It's carefully distilled, and that economy of choice doesn't limit her. It strengthens her signature. When you see her, you're not wondering what designer she's wearing. You're wondering who she is, because the clothes are just the outer chapter of a story that clearly runs much deeper. That's what true style becomes after 70. Not a trend report, a personal archive. 8. Dressing as a form of peace. By the time many women reach their 70s, fashion has become something they either surrender or battle. But Linda Wright seems to exist in an entirely different conversation. For her, and for many French women her age, fashion is not a battlefield. It's a resting place. There is no war between wanting to be seen and fearing invisibility. There is no performance of youth, no costume of sophistication. There is just peace. Her confidence is not loud. It doesn't have to be. It lives in the way she buttons her shirt, the way she knots her scarf, the way she lets her clothes be. There is a quiet bravery in choosing presence over performance. And that bravery shows up in every outfit. Not in the statement pieces, but in the calm cohesion. Linda's wardrobe is not designed to please an algorithm. It's not curated for the male gaze. It's not chasing compliments. It simply reflects a woman who knows who she is and has nothing left to prove, only more of herself to live. And maybe that's why she looks better than most of us. Not because she's trying, but because she's done trying.